Seoul, South Korea. Global K-pop fandom army has erupted in anger, accusing HYBE Corporation of sidelining Kim Taehyung, better known as V of BTS, by limiting his activities to fashion appearances while neglecting his music and collaborations. The issue, which began as whispers online, has snowballed into a worldwide protest demanding fairness and justice for one of the world's most beloved artists. In recent months, Taehyung has been a frequent figure at high-profile fashion events in Paris, Seoul, and Tokyo, earning praise from luxury brands and media outlets. However, fans began to question why his music projects and collaborations seemed stalled, especially compared to his bandmates. "We love seeing him on the runway, but we miss his voice even more," said a fan from Brazil in a viral post. The concern reached boiling point when ARMY compiled side-by-side comparisons of promotional efforts for BTS members. Many pointed out the lack of balance, accusing HYBE of prioritizing fashion contracts over Taehyung's music career. Hashtags like #JusticeForV and #HYBE unfair to Taehyung trended worldwide, with millions of tweets demanding answers. Experts argue the controversy reveals deeper issues within K-pop's management system. It's not unusual for agencies to push artists towards certain markets, but when it creates a perception of inequality, it becomes a crisis of trust, explained Professor Lee Ji-hoon, a cultural studies scholar at Yonsei University. According to him, Taehyung's situation reflects the tension between corporate strategy and artistic freedom. HYBE has yet to issue an official response, a silence that many fans interpret as avoidance. Industry analysts warn that continued inaction could harm HYBE's global reputation, particularly as BTS remains central to the company's identity and financial success. Investors know that ARMY is not just a fanbase, it's the driving force of HYBE's market value, said Park Sung-hoon, a financial analyst in Seoul. Meanwhile, ARMY's campaigns have expanded beyond social media. In New York, London, and Seoul, digital billboards were lit up with messages of solidarity for Taehyung. Petitions calling for transparency in HYBE's treatment of him have gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures. "This is no longer just about fandom, it's about fairness and respect," wrote one international fanbase in a joint statement. Some commentators suggest HYBE may be overwhelmed by the challenge of managing BTS members' solo careers while simultaneously expanding its roster of new groups. Still, the perception of imbalance toward Taehyung has ignited a rare moment of global scrutiny. BTS is not just 7 individuals. They're symbols. If even one of them appears mistreated, the world notices, said Dr. Amanda Liu, media scholar at UCLA. For now, Taehyung himself remains silent, appearing graceful at fashion events but leaving fans longing for music. Clips from past interviews where he hesitated to discuss artistic freedom have resurfaced, adding fuel to the fire. One comment, "I just do what I have to do," is now widely interpreted as a subtle reflection of his constraints. As the controversy grows, parallels are being drawn to previous disputes over slave contracts in K-pop, where idols challenged agencies over unfair terms. Though HYBE has long marketed itself as a progressive force in the industry, critics argue that the Taehyung case undermines that image. The world expects more transparency now. "Old methods won't work anymore," warned Professor Lee. For ARMY, the fight continues. Their message is clear. Taehyung deserves the same artistic opportunities as his peers, not just a role as a fashion icon. Until HYBE addresses the accusations, the chants of "Justice for V" will continue to echo across the digital and physical world. Observers in the fashion industry have also taken note of the controversy. While Taehyung's presence on the runway has undeniably elevated luxury brands, questions are mounting about whether fashion is being used as a substitute for his true artistry. "He is more than a model. He is one of the most talented vocalists of his generation," commented a French fashion journalist. The fact that fans are frustrated speaks volumes about how much they miss his music. Inside fan communities, the debate has grown increasingly sophisticated. ARMY members are not only calling for new music but also demanding transparency in decision-making processes. They are questioning how much autonomy Taehyung has over his career and whether corporate strategies are overshadowing his creative ambitions. For many, the issue is less about fashion versus music, and more about fairness versus control. International broadcasters such as NHK in Japan and CNN in the United States have aired special segments on the movement, framing it as part of a global discussion on labor rights and artistic freedom. By placing Taehyung's struggle in this wider context, the media has amplified ARMY's message beyond fandom spaces, reaching audiences unfamiliar with K-pop. Meanwhile, financial experts point out that this controversy arrives at a sensitive time for HYBE. With BTS members currently pursuing solo projects during military service periods, the company relies heavily on maintaining trust with fans. If HYBE loses credibility now, it could struggle to rebuild once BTS returns as a group, said Han Seo-jun, an entertainment market analyst. For ARMY, the matter has become personal. Beyond their admiration for Taehyung, fans feel that the lack of fairness represents a breach of the values BTS has always championed: authenticity, equality, and resilience. This isn't just about V, wrote one US-based fan on TikTok. It's about whether the company truly respects the messages BTS has given us for a decade. Billboards in Times Square, Shibuya, and Piccadilly Circus have displayed fan-funded campaigns demanding justice. In Seoul, organized protests have even reached the steps of HYBE's headquarters. These actions signal that ARMY is willing to move from digital spaces into real-world demonstrations, a rare escalation that underscores the intensity of their anger. Cultural critics warn that the longer HYBE delays, the more symbolic Taehyung's case will become. It's no longer only about his career, it's about whether global entertainment companies can adapt to a world where fans demand accountability, explained Dr. Liu. She described the current moment as a litmus test for the future of artist management in an era of hyper-connected fandoms. Adding pressure, past grievances are resurfacing. Fans are revisiting old patterns where Taehyung appeared to receive less promotional push, building a narrative of long-term neglect. This historical memory strengthens their conviction that what is happening now is not accidental, but systemic. As one Indonesian fan collective stated, "We have receipts. This is not a coincidence, it's a pattern." The controversy has also drawn attention from other fandoms, some of whom see parallels with their own idol struggles. Solidarity hashtags have begun circulating beyond ARMY, widening the scope of criticism against K-pop management systems. This coalition-like momentum could intensify scrutiny on the industry as a whole. Yet amid the storm, Taehyung himself continues to project composure, attending shows with his signature elegance. For fans, his silence is both comforting and frustrating, a reminder of his professionalism, but also a question mark about how much freedom he truly has. "We know he would give us music if he could," wrote one Mexican fan, "but something is stopping him." If HYBE continues to remain silent, analysts predict the backlash may escalate into a corporate crisis. Already, investors are monitoring fan sentiment as closely as financial reports. International brands, too, may hesitate to collaborate if they fear association with controversy. In a globalized industry, reputational damage can travel as fast as a trending hashtag. For now, ARMY's demand remains consistent. Taehyung deserves more than fashion shows. He deserves the freedom to release music, collaborate widely, and shine as the multi-dimensional artist they know him to be. Until that happens, the movement for justice for V is unlikely to fade. Industry observers believe this dispute could have long-term consequences for HYBE's image. Generations of fans and artists view the company's values and credibility.